I'd like to bring up something interesting. After I experienced my whole neurological framework reset, so to speak, the GABA B upregulation, and living like this post research chemical induced coma for 8 years, it's been hard for people to understand really what's happened to me, but I found a kind of good way to show really what it is. Okay? And this relates to, really some of the supposed surprises or supposed non understandings that my own mom has about me or about the things I do, as if she's surprised or puzzled as to why, I don't accept something from her, or why, uh, you know, am I so frustrated if she keeps doing the same things over and over again? Is very simple. Okay, whatever happened to me in that coma, and with the neurology and the neuroreceptors, the new balance of neuroreceptors that I live with for a long time now, the essence of the neurological framework became drawn closer to what our ancestral framework has been. I remember calling my friends. I was dosing for these research chemicals for 3, 4 days before I ended up in the coma. On the After the first day, only on the second day, I was already calling my friends from New Jersey where they lived, saying, "Hey, like, I can feel my ancestral DNA unlocking with this stuff too." They're like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, like, I'm eating just a simple piece of bread and butter. I It tastes to me the way bread and butter would have tasted, with all the nuances that our ancestors 10,000 years ago would have all felt in the profile of the sensory experience of eating this." And I was explaining to him, I was like that. He's like, "That's crazy. I hope you don't do too much of that stuff." Ends up, it was slowing down the liver, and then 2, 3, 4 days of dosing ended up building up in the system already. It was just the way it was meant to be. So I permanently emerged more upregulated even, and it lasted. So what am I like? I'm like the human core mode, the ancestral model, the mammalian model. I'm kind of like dogs. Now let's play this video here so we can understand what we mean by this. Because for the one who's in my mom's position, it's really this easy to understand. If you treat your son the way you would treat an animal, but like in the good way, like your own like pet or dog who you love, and with the same kind of regard and considerations, you will understand the human being perfectly. If he's this type, the more twisted in the human condition you go, the more modern you become. So you look outside, you people call yourselves normal. I don't think any of you are normal. See the problem? And a funny analogy regarding those two rabbis sitting in the cafe. We know that clip that we're talking about. One of them says, to us, Moshiach may look really sick or ill because we're the ones who have the false frame. So when we look at that through our frame, we look normal, he looks wrong, but in reality, the guy said, but in reality, we're the ones who are all sick. Do you get it? Bring your neurology back to core model back to God, and you're the only normal one. Everyone else around you is the not normal ones, but they can't see it. But this is going to help explain it to you. So a few examples. Here we go. Let's just see.
Scientists confirm that dogs can recognize a bad person. From the
Wow, I can recognize a bad person. It broadcasts from you like a radiation signal, the way TV antennas in the 90s attached to the cathode ray tube would pick up the broadcast of the AM radio. Same thing. Extremely clear, too. Clear signal.
random stranger that your well behaved dog barks at in the street to the neighbor that your pet refuses to go near.
Okay? Those of you who cannot see psychopaths and you like them, and a lot of people say that, oh, psychopaths are very likable to us. Nope. After I woke up from the coma, everyone who I used to be friends with, if they're psychopathics, you skeeve me out. I have hyper perception, so all I see about you every microsecond is how psychopathic you are. That's it. You can't hide in front of me anymore.
Sometimes it seems dogs just know when someone is a good or bad person.
Because they have clear vision, they have high GABA receptors, so they have excellent smell. You continue.
And now it turns out our suspicions were right all along. Scientists have shown that dogs
See, this shows that the human beings, there's something wrong with all of the rest of you. Let me tell you something. Vibrationally, I'm more in tune with dogs than I am with human beings. When I'm in public, I see animals and lock with animals energetically like this almost every time. And me and all dogs greet each other. Humans, you guys are strange. You guys are like what you all treat pigeons like. You just ignore them unless they're a nuisance to you.
can detect a bad person. Stick around till the end of this video as we dig up the dirt on your dog's incredible abilities. Number 8. Dogs can detect a mean person. According to a study published in the Journal of Neuroscience and Biobehavioral Reviews, dogs can tell when someone is mean to you. In this study, scientists conducted a live experiment with dogs and their owners and tested how dogs would react to different behaviors from humans. In 3 different scenarios, a dog owner was trying to open a container that was tightly sealed with an actor standing next to them. The first actor helped open the container. The second was passive, and the third outright refused to help. The dog
This is very important. If 3 people, one of them is helpful, 2 of them are not harmful or offensive, and one of them is essentially openly antagonistic or offensive. Let's see. I've been saying my mom has been the one who's been acting and showing as antagonistic. Of course, look at the last year and a half. What kind of woman does this to her own children? But watch.
dogs observed each of these scenarios. After the performance, the actors were instructed to give treats to the owner's dog. While you might expect a dog to happily accept a treat at any time, that wasn't the case in this experiment.
Ah, while you think humans may accept gifts at any time, that wasn't actually the case in real life when you try. Same like dogs, same like me. Why?
Scientists found that the dogs were much more likely to accept a treat from the actor who tried to help and showed kindness toward the owner. Most dogs also accepted food from the passive actor, but they were not willing to trust the person who didn't lend a hand. When the mean actor offered a treat to the dogs refused to accept the treat. The
Wow! Oh my god, what a concept! No surprise. And then fast forward, you see my mom trying to offer me treats. I'll leave food by your door. But what's the core instinct of the any creature with dignity? Not from you, because you were the mean one. Because you were ever mean ever, you are not trustworthy now. So my system cannot accept treats from you or gifts or food or anything like that, offerings, very naively by broken human logic. Oh, well, it's a gift. Oh, you're supposed to accept it. It's nice. No, it's not nice. Within the actual universe framework, the way God designed it, the scientific study here explains, of course not. It should be obvious. Go back again and really consider this.
dogs also accepted food from the passive actor, but they were not willing to trust the person who didn't lend a hand. When the mean actor offered a treat to the dogs refused to accept the treat. The dog could tell that the person was being a jerk. Number 7.
That's it. It's that simple. So when the mom keeps coming back on re-offering food, even when Anthony was like, "Hey, stop offering him stuff. You're the mean actor." His dog-based nervous system is offended by you. He can't physically. It goes against his wiring to accept it from you. It goes against nature. You understand? Don't go against nature. People trying to break nature.
Dogs can detect liars.
And so can I, exactly. In fact, when I woke up from the coma, one of the first, it was so hyper precise beyond any normal human capacity. I remember when I turned on the hospital TV, my mom was nearby actually, and I was flipping through the channels. You know how people can detect bad acting, like bad actors, low quality acting from like budget movies, poorly, low budget, shows or whatever. And it's called bad acting because you can perceive it. It is bad. It feels jarring to watch it. It makes you like not enjoy it because the bad acting is almost distracting, right? But because it hits a threshold, but what you call a good actor goes past the threshold, so it becomes not the acting is still acting, but it's non-detectable by you anymore. So you the suspension of disbelief can kick in properly. Okay, mine is hyper activated. So, and I'll never forget it when I first woke up because everything was the super peak. I was flipping through the channels, and every single thing, any channel I'd go through, one after another, after another, after another. My system couldn't tolerate any of it. Why? Because everybody on the screen, I could read that they were faking what they were doing. And it was so disgusting to me. It was like hyper jarring. It's like imagine you being trapped in a dimension where the only TV shows you ever had were all bad actors. You just wouldn't watch TV anymore. That's why I don't watch TV. I hyper pick up everything that's disingenuous, like not purely genuine. It's like hyper perception. So same with dogs, same with high GABA B man. We continue.
Another study conducted in Japan followed a similar experiment to find out if dogs can recognize an untrustworthy person. In this experiment, the scientists placed two containers near the dogs. One had treats inside, but the other was empty. In the first test, a person pointed to the container that concealed a treat, but the second time, the person pointed to the empty container instead. The dogs were happy to find the treat the first round, but were disappointed when they found out they were lied to the second time.
That's right. And you betray that dog. So what do you think is going to happen now? Again, this is a violation of nature once again. What's Barbara Winslow constantly doing? Violating nature. Rules. It's so plain when you put it this way. It's just so plain. Like, you boneheaded, you stupid. What's wrong? So, this is analogous to how my mom keeps promising a nice thing and then she breaks the promise, and the thing that is actually yielded from the situation is complete deviation from a complete violation from the thing that was originally indicated. It's like, oh yes, we'll do this. Oh yes, that. Oh yes, and it's not. And then even multiple times. Yeah, let's see what this dog does.
Then, the third round, the person pointed to the container with the treat again. However, that time, the dogs did not go for it. That person had been untrustworthy and deceitful in the second round, and the dog remembered that.
So when you're untrustworthy even once, the dog will remember that. Same thing. Hyper GABA B upregulated dog, man GABA B man. Same thing. You aren't trustworthy me once, I will remember that forever. And it will affect how we relate now permanently until you make the atonement, because you have to be the one who shows the regret for daring to have done this, not some psychopathic like, oh, I'm God, I'm stone cold immune, no changes. So you cursed yourself for forever. I mean, I don't get it. What's wrong with you people? I should live with dogs in dog heaven.
Number 6. Dogs can remember their owner's scent forever.
And I smell all of you people, and your feelings and fears and all of it. I smell everything.
Dogs can remember the scent of their owners for their entire life. A dog's memory is so complex that they will remember emotions associated with their owner or a person they meet.
Oh, think about this. They associate and remember not just the people that's the people. No, they remember the emotions that the people made on them. What kind of emotions is my mom imprinting on me when she calls the police on me multiple times over the course of my own life? All of them as corroborated and agreed by witnesses that were prior assessing everything. None of this made sense. At the point where Anthony was even telling me, I'm like, this is kind of concerning. You can't be doing that. It's presumed that people only do that because it's merited, and then I find out that it's not. It's like surprising. Lady, really?
The association of how that person made the dog feel remains stored in the dog's brain.
Yeah, how you made me feel, bitch, is stored in my brain. That's your problem now.
When a dog recognizes a particular scent associated with a human that has brought them joy, a particular portion of their brain is triggered, and they remember them. So, even if your face has changed, or it's been years since you've last seen your canine, your dog will remember how you smelled, remember how you loved them, and will be very excited to see you've returned.
So for normal people, you remember how they loved you, and that's what you love again. If your mom didn't love you, the maximum you can get is the top there, and then was the bottom is how bad she was for you. And that's what you really remember, and it's going to affect the relationship forever. That's it. So obvious now.
Studies have shown that an owner's scent activates the pleasure centers in the dog's brain. It's similar to the way the human brain responds to the perfume or cologne of a loved one. Other studies have shown that the longer you're gone, the more excited your dog will be upon your return. And if you are not around, your dog knows things have changed and a certain level of comfort is lost. If a dog's owner doesn't return within a certain period of time, the dog will ultimately see it as a loss. Number 5. Dogs can interpret facial expression.
This is very interesting, and yeah, and it's almost like, whatever mom that I sort of half had when I was younger is also like gone. You see, because I never really had a full mom. I had like maybe half a mom, and then it just diminished by spirit, worse and worse. It went down, and because this person can never come back, it's like a loss. So I'm always like drained because it's people treat you worse as time goes forward, and it's corrupted. It's all corrupted. We continue.
In a touchscreen experiment in Austria, scientists put dogs to the test. They showed canines pictures of the mouth and eyes of human faces that either had.
I'll skip this one. It's just a little bit of nonsense. Not nonsense, but these people are a little naive about dogs. Yeah.
The
Next.
bond between a dog and owner runs deep. If your dog barks at some people, but not the others, it could be that your dog picks up on subconscious signals you send about those people.
That's right, and that they send about themselves. So when I bark about people like my mom's boyfriend, it's because I'm accurately and correctly picking up a million things about that person. I already was picking up things about them beforehand, actually. So even my instinct before the GABA B coma was correct. Now it's even more correct. If I'm but then also the instinct is correct about my own mom. So there's just two human beings who are both rotting on the inside. They're nasty spiritually. So I'm pointing at them both, going bad, bad. That's it. You're condemned. You're judged.
Outwardly, you may be being welcoming and friendly to a person, but your dog will notice tiny subconscious signals that you are not completely comfortable around that person.
100,000,000,000%. I notice every subconscious indicator that my mom is never comfortable around me ever. Psycho. And that makes me hate you. Like the dog? Exactly.
A dog's sense of smell is somewhere between 10,000 to 100,000 times better than that of a human's. Your dog can sense when you are nervous because your body produces certain stress-related chemicals and hormones that have distinctive odors. The most obvious of those would be sweating and the releasing of adrenaline. When someone...
That's right, and I smell all of you human beings too, easily, from long distances too. If I'm on the street alone, I can smell a woman. She doesn't have to be wearing perfume. You could just wake up out of her bed and then walk outside. It's like in a park even. There's like not a lot of people, and then there's like one human being, maybe 200, 300 yards upwind, or generally around nearby. I'll smell her, that there's a woman in that vicinity, in that general direction. I'll smell her before I see her. Okay? And I'll smell how she's feeling too. And then when she sees me, her subconscious glands immediately make like a reaction. So I'll smell how she feels about me. I observe as soon as she sees me. I don't even have to look at her. You could blindfold me, and I'll know. I can pick up through both two methods. Through broadcast frequency, like my nervous system tree that stems out from the brain, but it innervates your whole body. So you're like a human body-shaped nervous system tree. It picks up the broadcast through the ether that you people make through your own nervous system, but also your hormones in conjunction. So you could blindfold me. I'll tell you when she looked at me because I'll smell plus feel the broadcast sudden change. You're gonna broadcast different tone now. I smell and feel all of it in conjunction.
Who makes you nervous?
I mean, come on, man. I've been recording about how, when people smoke outside, and there's a few people in the building who smoke outside, they used to at least, not so much anymore, I don't know. I could, up until extremely recently, relatively, only recently has this started being blunted a little bit by perception that it's a little blurry, but extremely precise for the first 6 years plus post-coma. I could smell who it is based on whose lungs the exhaled smoke came out of, because I could smell that the exhaled smoke is now smoke plus the mammal flesh scent of a specific human being's flesh. That smoke only passed through your lungs for a millisecond to go into your air sacs and come back out. And then 6 floors up, when the smoke wafts up, I know who was smoke, who's exhaled it. Can you mind blow? I'm like almost like God.
Approaches you, your dog may realize that you are not at ease, and they bark at them to ensure you stay safe.
That's right. I could tell that these people around me, mom's boyfriend, mom, never at ease around me. So what are you going to get? Bark treatment because you were the ones who, your own behavior exposes you to me, to my system, which rejects you in essence because you rejected me, but is automatically, which your body gives away.
Research has shown that dogs can sense changes in a person's brain through alterations to the pheromones they are emitting. This goes some way to explain the many stories we hear about dogs showing aggression or dislike to someone right before things turn nasty. The dog knew what was going to happen before the victim even had a clue. On that note, remember that
That's right, and it's pretty much consistent with me. Yeah, what I read in the beginning will be consistent with what ends up happening because the beginning is consistent with the end. It's consistent with the underlying thing that's constant throughout, which is the common denominator, which is the person and their way of being, who they are, their spirit in essence, so to speak.
dogs can smell fear. In a study of
I can literally, as a human being, I can literally smell fear too. Clearly, not a figure of speech. I mean, I know what it smells like, and if you put me on a game show and blindfolded me, I'd show you that I'm the only human being who has this power. Mind blow.
694 people, the scientists found a link between an individual's emotional state and their likelihood of getting bitten. Confident and emotionally stable people didn't get bitten nearly as often as those who feel anxious around intimidating dogs. Number 3. Dogs can read your body language. According
Well, exactly, of course, exactly what was being mentioned before.
to animal behavior specialists, canines will pick up on every move a dog or human makes, whether it's
Every move. But most of you humans can't do this apparently, but I do. Every single microscopic molecule about you, plus every broadcast about you, I'm reading it automatically. I don't try, it's just happening.
stiff behavior, playfulness, or nervous behavior. A dog will
Yeah, stiff and nervous is what my mom is always, never playful.
know immediately. This is because
And just like a dog knows immediately, yeah, I know immediately too.
dogs rely on canine body language to assess their own safety when they are around other dogs.
Their body language makes me feel unsafe. It's like a mind blowing revelation to you people now, huh?
This inbred behavior transfers directly to human behavior as well. So if a person you know is saying one thing but is acting differently, your dog will sense it immediately. That's why your dog will bark or growl at a person they
Yeah, like my mom comes in with nice words like, oh, hi, that well, hi is the outer fake glaze, and the inside, everything behind that false mask is like chaos energy of all the sick vibrations. Alarming.
think may be an immediate threat, even if that person is only thinking of harming you in the future. What else can
Yeah,
dogs
plotting against someone and trying to subtly manipulate them isn't going to work because it's moving through your, and I've got the powers of a dog or more. I can pick it up and read it, and it's like I'm just watching you, like what the hell are you doing? I reject all this crap.
sense with their incredible sense of smell? You've probably heard about a dog's ability
I'm in tune with nature. In other words, you understand? Like they are.
to predict earthquakes or weather changes, but
Oh, and let me tell you about the earthquake time when it hit. That whole morning, I was feeling very strange energy. And I didn't predict the earthquake as an earthquake. There's other things that I predicted that came true, that I called it physically. This earthquake I didn't predict, but the whole morning, within a 2 hour window or so plus beforehand, I happened to be actually napping right when it happened. But beforehand, when I was awake, just a little bit early that morning, it was like a different dimension of energy. I was like, and it was like bad and negative. Never felt that exact type of way before. And then after I woke up and heard about the earthquake, the feeling of the news about hearing that an earthquake hit here and the way it made you feel, I realized, oh, that was consistent with the feeling I had hours beforehand. I just picked it up. It's in the Matrix meta programming. Amazing. Though I didn't know it would be an earthquake or that anything at all was actually going to be happening. But the feeling came first. It bled through first. The energetic broadcast signal, my feelings, and then the event happened after that. Incredible.
What about detecting life-threatening diseases? Number 2, dogs can smell serious illnesses. Believe it or not,
Yes,
dogs
I can also smell things too like this. I once told a girl I went on a date with that I could smell that she had a intestinal surgery because I could smell like the stitching, the glue, whatever that they put, the surgical glue. And she was like, "How the fucking hell is that even possible?" Because she did have surgery on her. She had appendix surgery the month prior, and I could smell it in your breath a month later. Can you? It's beyond. Can you people melt your faces off now at the level you're dealing with when you're dealing with me?
can detect cancer simply by sniffing someone's body. A study conducted at the
I'm not sure if I can. I'd like to test. I'd like to hang out with people who own a lab and have them put a bunch of petri dishes in front of my face, and I'll tell you. Bet you it would.
University of California, Davis,
Maybe.
has shown that dogs can detect cancer-affected tissues out of many samples. Cancer-affected cells have a specific smell that doesn't exist in healthy cells. There's even an organization in the United Kingdom called Medical Detection Dogs, in which dogs are trained to find the odor of cancer in samples such as breath, urine, and swabs. Dogs can even be lifesavers for people with diabetes. Diabetics must control their blood glucose levels since they can change drastically and suddenly drop to dangerous levels. A rapid fall in blood sugar levels produces unique chemical elements that the dog can identify in a person's breath or skin. The organization, Dogs for Diabetics, trains dogs extensively to alert owners when their blood sugar is low. A dog's supernose can
And what's also interesting is that I can smell the smell of when my blood sugar goes high. Okay.
also predict seizures and migraines and can detect malaria and Parkinson's disease. Now, let's talk about why dogs bark at some dogs, but not the others. You're walking along the street and your dog sees another dog coming down the path in his direction. Your dog may bark and lunge in an attempt to keep the other dog away, or he may just put his head down and get past without even barking or looking at the dog. But why does your dog bark at some dogs and is completely cool with others?
Yeah. Why am I essentially ending up, getting into arguments with some people, but I'm completely fine with others? Let's see why.
While humans communicate using words, dogs mainly
No, you fucking don't. I don't listen. Here's what you need to understand. Nothing truer. Nothing truer can be said than what I'm about to kind of tell you now. Like I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, I could pretty much say that this is like, how do I even bring this across? I can't say nothing truer can be said, but I'm trying to say like it's funny to me that all of you listen to each other's words. I don't listen to your words because your words don't tell me anything of value. You're all a bunch of cuckoo bullshit artists. Your words mean nothing. In fact, if I do listen to your words, I'm going to be misled. But I'm not that naive because I see the rest of your broadcast, and then your words are the thing that are different. That's the fake part, and I see it everywhere. I don't what my eyes see that you try to show, like superficially to pose. I don't look at that. When you talk, say words, or my ears hear the words. I don't. That's not. Humans use words. No, you don't. Even to each other, I don't know. And somehow you all will not believe it. I don't. It's stunning to me. But when you try to this with me, it's like it just happens that you're using English words and sentences. I don't really engage with that. I see everything else, the whole dynamo, the holistic dynamo of broadcast energies that are coming from you, the soul. I'm just kind of soul gazing at you. You say stuff, it's like, oh, there they are, these humans trying to manipulate. You know, speech is for manipulation, which is strange. It's a completely different framework here. But what is correct is the smell. You can't fake how you smell to me. So I don't look at you and I don't accept what I see from you that you try to show it, but I'll see through that and see correct things. I don't hear and get caught at the level, oh, that's what you said, they told me. No, no. I'll see or hear through those, so never mind what you try to superficially show or have me hear, but I'll just cut through, and then the smell cuts through automatically. I'll always get you by smell.
Communicate through their body language and scent.
But let's
Your dog, or looking at
consider again. Let's see here.
the dog. But why does your dog bark at some dogs and is completely cool with others?
As was posed earlier.
While humans communicate using words, dogs mainly communicate through their body language and scent. Your dog may bark at some dogs because they show threatening body language.
Okay, everything that my mom ever shows with her body language, which she comes down here for a long time, for like years, is like antagonistic, aversive, hostile body language. Chronically almost. It's so strange because the person is supposed to be the most loving to you, and my life is the least loving to me. Cuckoo. That's torture and abuse of a dog. That would be abuse to your dog. If you came home and you gave the kind of body language my mom gives to me to your own dog their whole lives, that would be considered like strange and tacitly abusive to your dog. And then you'd wonder why the dog would have like, problems. You made them because you're giving lack of love to your dog the whole time. That's the same way my mom treats me, lack of love the whole time.
May not notice their body language, but subtle signs like freezing, a stiff tail, a tense mouth, or wrinkled nose.
Yeah, my mom has the same thing. Stiff tail, figuratively speaking. Stiff tail, all that. Say it again. This is beautiful. That's exactly my mom's
because
demeanor.
They show threatening body language. You may not notice their body language, but subtle signs like freezing, a stiff tail, a tense mouth.
How's that possible? How do you humans not realize these things? I don't know. Feel sorry for you. Yep, mom, tense mouth, stiff nose, all that.
Or wrinkled nose may be off-putting to your dog. A dog.
It's off-putting to anyone who beholds this, dog or human. It's the same mammalian neural framework, so it's offensive to all of us.
They see something in another dog's body language or pick up scent clues that signal something the first dog either likes or dislikes. Dogs can sense those subtle body cues or scents from a significant distance away.
Yeah, this drawing is not a... That's the same distance away that I'll smell you people from. Or more even, a little bit more. Not that much more than that, but it's a good distance drawn, yeah. That much or a little further, I'll pick up up to double that away. I could smell you. Mind blowing.
Another reason why a dog takes an immediate dislike to another is that dog's historical experience.
And it's not just smell you, all that. And I'm going to go back a minute here because that's important too. But it's not just smell you and just some superficial smell that's otherwise non-meaningful. It's just, that's just the way he smells. No, it's I smell you, where smell means I am knowing everything about you right now because your smell is giving me 8,000 pieces of data about you right now. We continue.
Sense from a significant distance away. Another reason why a dog takes an immediate dislike to another is that dog's historical experience.
Wow, historical experience. What more needs to be said?
For example, your pooch was attacked by a brown male dog in the past. He may exhibit intense fear and aggression towards similar-looking dogs.
Wow, so when Polish people treat me as crazy as any human being could ever treat somebody, is the way I see it, is offensive to my dignity, my neural framework, all that, the dog inside of me, it's offensive to us. Right, so by association now, why do you think that you hear me talking the way I do? Now it's no wonder. Whose fault it is?
Who would have thought a dog could do so much? Dogs can detect life-threatening diseases, they can decipher our body language, gestures, detect mean people, and even decide to stop obeying and trusting you when you try to trick them.
Wow. Oh my God. So my mom wonders why I'm not obeying her, quote unquote, or being reconciled with her. She's always trying to trick you and play manipulation on you. But I'm not a human who's naive and just is a stupid idiot like the rest of you humans seem to be with each other. I'm actually attuned, hyper-tuned compared to you, but to me it's just normal. I feel normal, and I see dogs as completely normal too. Dogs are normal. People are the weird ones.
So when your dog growls at someone in your home, they may be onto something. This person
Yeah, and when John Winslow growls at someone, he's really onto something. Wake up and realize who to put your frame and orient yourselves around where the truth is coming from. Not from you or your own selves.
might seem all right to you, but your dog knows better.
Figure it out.